Hey basketball coaches, players, and fans, today I am going to be breaking down Jamal Murray's shooting form. This is very important because, of course, Jamal Murray is one of the best guards in the NBA, and you could be too if you follow some of these simple rules or steps that Jamal Murray has in his shooting form as well. Let's also say that he is easily one of the best Canadians to ever play basketball ever. Next to Steve Nash, let's get down and let's check out Jamal Murray's shooting form. Okay, so here we have him shooting a free throw shot. Now, your shooting form should be the same no matter what, so this is great because, of course, we have a close-up of Jamal Murray. First, we start with his feet. And with his feet, his right foot is slightly in front of his left, which is great because he is a right-handed player. The other thing is that both of his knees are facing towards the rim, roughly the same distance to the rim as each other, but remembering that the left is going to be slightly behind the right. Now, next, we go to the hips, and same as his hips, they are square towards the basket, and same as his shoulders. This, right away, the base is extremely straight towards the rim, which means that he should be a very consistent three-point mid-range shooter, which he is. Next, what we look at is his shoulder and his elbow when they're rotating up into his shot. Now, when he starts rotating it up, the elbow doesn't bend all that much at all, and it's all done with his shoulder. That's his hinge right there. Only one hinge. That's all you really want. And the reason why I say that is you don't want to have a straight arm and then bend it into a curved arm. You want to have the least amount of movement as possible because then there's less chances of your shot getting messed up from your shooting form. The least amount of movement, the better. Simplicity is very important here. Next, when we get up into his shooting form, we notice that his shoulder and elbow are in a straight line towards the basket because that is your aim. If your elbow is slightly out, either that way or in this way, if your elbow is in, which means that your forearm is facing this way, then the shot is going to go out towards this side. Meanwhile, if your elbow is out like this, then the shot is going to be going out towards this side. What we have here, this is an angle onto his shot. We have to remember that. So facing straight on, you would notice that his arm would be slightly in, but it's not over top of his face, and his shoulder and elbow are in line. So I am not too concerned about that, and we can all see that he shoots extremely high percentages anyways. Moving from there, we look at the offhand. Does the offhand contribute anything towards the ball? And when we start moving up with his shot, we notice right here, we notice that his thumb slightly manipulates that ball, just like Steph Curry. But it manipulates it before it leaves the hand. So that could be just for extra power, which is fine because it leaves the middle fingertip last when he shoots that ball. Something else that Jamal Murray does is with his wrist. His hand actually slightly goes out towards the right when he shoots and then goes straight. However, that ball leaves his middle finger last. That's why he has such a consistent shot. However, if he was to release it just a bit later, when his wrist goes out towards the right, there may be a high possibility and probability that the ball goes right. However, we don't necessarily see that all that much. Maybe 1 out of 1,000 shots that may happen to Jamal Murray. So, again, not something that is very worrisome. But again, 1 in 1,000, that could be that one 3-point shot that wins the championship finals game. So who knows? So now when we get a little bit closer in with his shot, we notice his hand. This is another major part of your shooting form. We can see that his hand is spread wide out on that ball. And the reason why you want to do that is to have more control over where that ball is going to go. This is another very important part to shooting form. Now, if we zoom in any closer to the actual hand itself, you will see a little bit of a shadow right between the ball and the palm on the ball. So there is not a ton of space between his palm and the ball. However, because there is a shadow, and considering that the lights are going to be facing this way when it comes to the bubble as well as this way, we can say confidently that there's at least 1/8 of an inch or more, or somewhere around that range between the palm and the ball. We can kind of see it right where that dot is, where I just put. And because of that, you want to have at least a little bit of space between your palm and the ball. There are a lot of trainers who say that they want your palm on the ball, and there's a lot of people who will say that is 100% incorrect. I'm going to say that you can have your palm on the ball as long as you feel like you still have control of the ball. The issue with having your palm on the ball is that when you have your palm on the ball, it allows that ball to roll around. And if you get just slightly pushed when you're taking your shot, that could then basically roll that ball loose, and you could lose that ball and miss that shot. By having your fingertips on the ball, it's going to allow you to have more control, which allows you to make more shots. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.